I find that a lot of us tend to overthink a lot of things in our lives. And I think it's a real problem, and I also think that it's a form of a mental illness as well. We overthink so much, yet the reality is that everything in life is actually a lot simpler than you think. We overthink our future, which causes us to worry, right? We overthink that if you don't get this really good job now, if you don't do this, if you don't invest in this, we're gonna be in a very, very terrible situation 10 years from now, 5 years from now, or whatever. But let me ask you this. You are watching this video right now. You have some sort of internet access, you have Wi-Fi or something. You're watching this video right now. You are alive right now. You most likely have some sort of food that you're intaking, you're drinking clean water, I'm assuming, or whatever, but you're surviving. You have the necessities of life, right? Around you. You have eyesight, you have your hearing. You have all these things that have been given to you. And those are all really, really basic things, like simple things that we have. Yes, scientifically, or the way it works is complicated for sure. But what I'm trying to say is that we have all of these things, and we've always had these things in our life. But when we add on other stuff to it, it complicates things. When we add things like when we say to ourselves, oh, my ears look too small. Maybe I want to get a surgery to change it. Or my nose looks really weird. Now I want to change the structure of my nose and stuff like that. Now you're complicating things. And the thing about overthinking and overcomplicating things is that it becomes like a virus. It spreads. It spreads into all aspects of your life as well. And it has happened to me many times in my life as well, where I have overthought so many things. For example, I was overthinking that I had a really unnecessarily big ass chest because I work out a lot in the gym, right? So I thought that my chest looked really weird. So I felt really uncomfortable about the structure of my body. I felt a little bit insecure. And then after that, I was looking at my legs. I was looking at my thighs. I was looking at the symmetry of my right arm compared to my left arm. And the thing was, I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was overthinking. I was overthinking all of these things. But the reality is that it's fine. Nobody really notices that stuff, but only you notice it. Yes, maybe you might get some comments from people saying, oh, your chest is really big or whatever. But maybe you, in your head, you overthink it and say that it might be an insult. You might overthink it and say that maybe I need to flatten it out a little bit, or maybe I need to get bigger on the legs or something like that. The thing is, people don't think about you as much as you think. Even if they make a comment or opinion to you, bro, it only lasts for like seconds. And then after that, they move on to the rest of their whatever they need to do in their lives. They're not so concerned about you. That's just the reality. Everyone you meet is not so concerned about you 24/7. They're not. Everyone has their own problems. Everyone has their own, things that they need to work on. But we overthink in our head, right? And it all starts in the brain, in our thoughts. We overthink that, oh man, I'm feeling really self-conscious about these people around me. They're always looking at me. Why is this guy staring at me at the bus stop? Does he want to fight me? Why is this? Why is that? Bro, just let it be. Just accept the situation as it is. It's not as complicated as you think it is. And people don't really, like I said, care about you as much as you think. And I think this has become a dilemma for a lot of people, especially on social media, where I know some people that post a picture, and if they don't get a certain number of likes within a certain period of time, they delete the picture. And this is just nuts. Right? If it's a good picture, it's a good picture, man. Appreciate the at least the 10 likes that you got. It means people still like the photo. What difference does it make? So the point I'm trying to make is that when you overthink things, it hinders you and it makes you unhappy. You get this negative energy inside of you when you overthink things. And this has happened to me and many other people in my lives as well. A lot of them overthink things, which prevents them from executing, which prevents them from taking action in their lives as well. A lot of people, because of their past mistakes and their past failures, they're afraid to move on. They're afraid to move on with their lives. They're afraid to continue. I know people who have given up on relationships with people because they've had really terrible ones, which is fine. But I know those same people that they don't even want to interact with anyone. So they've completely lost trust in everyone around them. So they just stay at home all the time and do not interact with anyone. So because of the fact that they had bad breakups with the previous exes that they had, with the exes that they had, it has swallowed their mentality completely to the point where they do not even want to socialize with anyone at all. And a lot of that has to do with overthinking too. But the thing is, the reality of life is that it's just simple, but we just overcomplicate everything. And as I've said before, in previous videos on my channel, that we live in a very materialistic world. We have so many options now. We have so many options of stuff that we can buy online, like Amazon, of the same product. You search up, let's say jeans, right? You search up jeans. Bro, there's like 100 different types of jeans that you can get. You search up a TV. There's 100, not even hundreds, more than that, of different TVs, different options that you can get with different features. But it's like overcomplicates things, because the basic, it's a TV. You watch TV on it. There's just a couple of extra gadgets on the TV, but we just overcomplicate things. And when we have too much choice as well, when we have too many choices in our life, we also overcomplicate things. That's why we need to remember that we came into this life with nothing, right? With no clothes on our back, nothing at all. And it was given to us. Everything in this world was given to us, right? And as we get older, we just start having this habit of wanting more and more and more and more and more. This is a consumerist mentality. And what that does, it gives us anxiety. It makes us worried. It gives us all of these problems. We create this mental health problem in our minds through overthinking, right? And what helps for me is that when I go out in nature, when I go for a walk out there and I see just the basics, when I just see the basics, I see trees, I see the grass, I see the water, that gives me a sense of ease. That makes me realize that the simplicity of life is what brings us happiness, right? And we need those reminders on a daily basis. And when we get rid of stuff, say we donate stuff like clothes or stuff that we don't use anymore, we feel like a weight has been lifted off our shoulders, right? We feel a lot better about ourselves. Our mind feels clearer, right? And we really don't need much to be happy. And if we are able to reduce our ability to overthink, because I think a lot of people overthink, especially smart people who are very intelligent, I think they overthink a lot. But I think they also suffer a lot. They suffer a lot in their minds. And I think that if we are able to relax, if we are able to clear our heads, if we are able to realize the simple things of life are more important, like being able to go for a walk outside, having a simple car or whatever, not even a car, if you have a bicycle or whatever, just one thing, one of everything. You don't need to have multiple sets of everything. Then we realize we feel a lot happier. We feel a lot more content with our lives. And I encourage everyone who's watching this video to think about what you can get rid of in your life and to also execute on things that you want to do without overthinking everything. Because the worst thing that can happen is you fail, you get rejected or whatever. That's the worst thing that's gonna happen to you. You're not gonna, your life's not at risk for the most part for whatever decision you're trying to do, as long as it's a sensible one. But we need to start doing things, but we need to start executing without overthinking the situation. Because a lot of us create fabrications in our head as well. We create these fake scenarios in our mind about, what if I approach that person, that person that I think that's cute or whatever, and she like says something really mean to me, or something like, you're a piece of shit, right? And almost every single time, it doesn't end up being like that. It never ends up being like that. You create these scenarios in your head too. Like, I don't know if it's just me or, but when you're going to a social gathering, whether it's a wedding or some sort of invitation, you create these scenarios in your head about how you should behave, about how you should act. You want to put up everyone wants to put up a good persona of themselves, especially if they're people that you're meeting for the first time. But then a lot of the times we create the worst case scenarios in our head. And that gives us anxiety, that gives us worry. And a lot of it is just fabrication. It doesn't end up being the reality. But that is how our brain works, right? Our brain works by, it tries to protect ourselves, right? And we really need to start realizing that we are not our thoughts, right? Our thoughts are not us. That is not who we are. And we need to realize that we need to just do it. We need to just go for it without having to overthink everything. Because a lot of the times, the things that we think about, that we overthink about, never end up happening. And that's just a reality.